Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this evening's edition of the Ummah Tonight. Don't forget to follow us on Google+. You too can be an iCorrespondent for the Ummah Tonight. And please as well, follow us on Facebook.com/the Tonight to share all your stories all around the world. Of course, on this edition of Ummah Tonight, as with the whole program in general rather, we are looking to investigate pressing issues facing the Muslim world today. And we do have a very special episode this evening as well. An episode dear to my heart as it is concerning a very special country, Greece, the homeland of my father. Although this is sad news regarding the Muslim Ummah. But before I get into that, let me introduce my co-host, Brother Ahmed Fawzi. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ahmed.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
Thank you for being with me as usual.
Sure,
and I look forward to this episode, brother. I certainly hope that it's beneficial for the viewers
of course, inshallah.
As well, inshallah.
And for us.
Yeah, of course. And brother, this episode, the brothers in the control room, they want to talk about the rise of neo-Nazism in Greece, of all places, and how this is affecting the Muslim world and the Muslims of Greece in particular, especially considering that there is a group, Brother Ahmed, called Golden Dawn. And I don't know what it's quite called in Greek. My Greek has become very bad over these years, but this group, Golden Dawn, if you can believe this, Brother Ahmed, Golden Dawn is a neo-Nazi group. Their party logo is the Nazi swastika. They hold violent rallies. They even use the Heil Hitler gesture to greet each other, as the Nazis did. They ran for popular election and won in over a tremendous amount of seats in the National Parliament of Greece, and which was amazing in itself. I mean, brother, what do you think? I mean, isn't it sad to see the Parliament of a European capital city allowed a neo-Nazi group to run, and not only that, but a lot of people voted for them, and they were a very influential political party? I mean, isn't that sad, brother?
To be honest, it's right for anyone just to go for any political activism. It's fine. But the moves itself, I don't know.
Right.
Just I was watching some TV reports and also surfed the internet for some news, and we found this news: neo-Nazis to slaughter Greece Muslims.
Yeah, subhanAllah.
So this is which is not acceptable. If you let me just to go ahead and read some of it, neo-Nazis have given a 1-month ultimatum for Muslims to leave Greece, or they will be slaughtered like chicken.
But first of all,
this is which is not acceptable at
right,
all.
Of course. And this guy probably has never slaughtered an animal, much less a human, in his life, because chickens aren't slaughtered.
Exactly.
But in any case, brother, which is funny, right, which is an ignorant thing to say, but in any event, I mean, in all seriousness, we keep hearing about Islamic extremism, Brother Ahmed. You've traveled to the United States, we hear about it all the time, Islamic extremism, Islamic extremism. I didn't hear any American Muslim leaders say, if the non-Muslims don't leave America, we're going to slaughter them. I mean, so what about this neo-Nazism? Why is it not being addressed in the media? Even Eric Holder, the Attorney General of the United States, had said that the threat between Islamic extremism and neo-Nazism in America, if you weigh it, the neo-Nazi groups are much more numerous and a bigger threat to American security.
Just like 100 times in the show here, we said that when it comes to Islam, you will hear these terms: extremism, maybe terrorism, and others like jihadists and stuff like that. All of these terms became like one word, and they succeeded actually through media and to put stereotypes in people's minds that the word Muslims equal terrorism, equal crimes, equal whatever. But when it comes to any non-Muslim, it's fine. Maybe it's something like a crime, just maybe a small crime, a little crime. And I do remember a nice story about a friend of mine, and I was in the state during this time. And I'm not gonna say his name, but I'll tell the story, and then his name is going to come through the story.
Okay.
He was walking like to the bus station, and there he's funny a little bit, so he just make jokes with people and stuff like that. So he get to just joke with the person there, and they get like to laugh, and subhanallah. And once the guy just told him, "Hey buddy, what's your name?" And he said, "Okay, my name is Muhammad." The guy just turned with another face and like stands up and like put his hand like in his pocket, like he's getting a knife or anything like that, and you're a terrorist, you're blah blah blah, and he started to like accuse him with a lot of accusations. It's not what Muhammad was, but it's something like stereotype
against Muslims.
And this is what we don't want people to believe in. Just believe in what you see every day.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Thank you, Brother Ahmed. And actually, we do have a phone guest, Brother Samir Khalafawi. He's been on Let's Talk before. Brother is from Germany. We were hoping to have him in the studio, but our schedules did conflict. We're certainly pleased to have him on the telephone. Brother Samir, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Sheikh Ahmed, brother. Jazakallah khair.
But brother, you know, thank you so much for being with us. We really need some explanation and some background about the history of neo-Nazism, particularly in Europe, and where these groups come from, and especially in Greece. I mean, this seems like a contradiction. I mean, Greece was a country that was invaded and fought against the Nazis in World War II. So now, how can we say, quote-unquote, homegrown neo-Nazis in a country like Greece? I mean, does it even make sense?
Okay, I can explain. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. First of all, the word Nazi, the word that stands for National Socialism, National Sozialismus in German. National Socialism is a movement that was, you know, like started, was very strong after World War I and started to evolve in Europe because of the economic situation at that time and the economic troubles. Unfortunately, now it is being reborn again with the current economic troubles and problems throughout Europe, and especially in Greece. As we know that Greece is currently almost bankrupt, and obviously as a reaction, this movement is you know, flourishing and evolving. And it is, you know, like a movement that is taking certain targets, certain, you know, like scapegoats as, you know, like a place to as an enemy. And the traditional enemy was for the National Socialism were the Jews. Always they you know, that they fought as they were killing the Jews, as it was said in the World War II. So now the media is trying to make them, you know, like fight against the Muslims, or making the enemy as Islam and the Muslim as a new enemy instead of the Jews. So that they have a new scapegoat to fight against. And as we know, unfortunately, the Western media have those double standards, where if someone is attacking the Muslims or mocking their idols, or the ideals, the people, the Prophet also, they are saying, okay, this is, you know, like freedom of expression and we can't do anything about it. But if someone mocks the Jews or attacks them, and so they say, no, this is anti-Semitism, and even they could jail someone just for, you know, speaking about the Jews. So those double standards are making people, you know, fighting against Islam blindly without knowing what Islam is standing for. And, you know, like, you know, because those media are also pointing out the mistakes about and the wrongdoings of some Muslims that are not presenting Islam at all, or not, you know, stand for Islam, but they show them, they say, if this man is doing this, this is Islam. So as much as I see the two main problems now with the evolution of neo-Nazism is the economic problem, and at the same time, though, you know, that they are fighting against the foreigners or the Muslims, especially in Germany, the Turkish people who are, you know, like, you know, built up the German industry after World War II, as they were coming as simple workers, and they are working and were, you know, proper good workers, so that they now have they are well established now, they have their money, they have fought for it, and they are built. And now some people are saying, look, this Turkish man is taking your job. And, you know, the media or those people who are wanting to make a fitna between the Germans and the Muslims, they say, see, this Turkish man is taking your job, he is having this restaurant and this and that. So they are trying to make this problem between the nationalism, the National Socialists, the Nazis, and the Turkish or the Muslims in general.
Brother Samir, thank you so much for that clarification. If you can stay with me on the line, I would like to go to Brother Ahmed Ala-Adin in Greece with us via Skype. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ahmed. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's certainly a pleasure and honor to have you on our program. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Brother Ahmed. Please, brother, you were located in Athens, Greece. Please give us a little bit of background about the neo-Nazi, the growth of the neo-Nazi party in Greece, in addition to some daily experiences of being Muslim in Greece, and how difficult that is in your daily life in living in Athens. Go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Well, Brother Malik, allow me to approach the issue in a total different manner.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to give a description, a backstage, and an identification of the problem here in Greece.
Okay.
And also, inshallah, a solution from our deen.
Inshallah. Perfect. Go ahead,
now,
brother.
Awesome.
The so-called Muslim Association of Greece, and I mean the so-called, but this is not the time to elaborate, received the threat letter on 16 May, in 16th May of this month, as they alleged this is from the Nazi party Golden Dawn. The reality is that there is no evidence that safely we can say it is from that extremist party. Now, there is a lot of backstage in this situation, because the Muslim community in Greece, and I think in Europe, also not only in Greece, the Muslims are victims of the political agendas, either from the left wing or the right wing. And now with the rising of the fascism in Greece, also from the Golden Dawn. Now, each of these political ideologies plays with the Muslim emotions in order to get votes and satisfy their political goals, okay? Now, what is the backstage? The Greek parliament discussed for the creation of an anti-racist law. The political parties now want to take advantage from this law, each of them from their own political ideological perspective. And as a result, they view that Muslim community, the Muslim community as a tool for their own propaganda and to get as much as possible their votes. Now, we as Muslims, okay, must not care at all as a minority, because we cannot do anything. And actually, this is not our issue and not our problem. Although some so-called Muslim presidents or associations want to involve the layman Muslim for their own interest. Now, we as Muslims need to focus in something else much more important than this letter, which maybe is, as I said in the beginning, a provocative move. And something that will give us the solution. We need to focus in something that will give us the solution to our problems that we face as a community here in Greece, and we are the last of them in the whole Europe. What is our problem, Brother Malik? The problem is partisanship of the Muslims, okay? Factionalism, politicization, and the worst, avoidance of the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the reason why they treat us like this, okay, this is the reason why they treat us like this, because we are far away from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is our problem, not the hostility from the non-Muslims, not death threats. If we have Allah, who can stand against us? And this is not only the problem of the Muslim community in Greece, but in general, this is the problem of the European Muslims, not to say the whole of the Ummah. We abandoned the Sunnah. Dr. Salih al-Saleh, a student of Sheikh Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah, said in his book, Inverted Priorities, we have, as Muslims, corrupt creeds, lying, cheating, injustice, innovations, lowly desires, attachment to this life, ignorance, mysticism, grave worship, bigoted blind following, and so forth. And we boast and we say our main problem is our leaders, the problem is the Golden Dawn, the problem is such and such. No, this is not going to work, ya ikhwan. This is not going to work at all. Our problem is our own personalities. And what is the solution? What is the solution? The problem is ourselves, okay? Now we need to change and to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and will provide for him from where he does not expect. And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Okay? إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيْرُ بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيْرُ مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. And here, at least, as I know, here in Greece, as Muslims, we haven't changed at all.
Brother Ahmed Al-Adin, thank you so much for your comments. Me and Brother Ahmed would like to follow up and ask you a question, brother, because we are sitting here in our Cairo studios, and over time and time again, Brother Ahmed, we always see violence taking place in Athens against immigrant communities. For example, Egyptian workers being attacked on the streets. I recently read an article where an Egyptian was beaten and dragged by a vehicle, chained to a vehicle and dragged through the streets. So we see these horrendous acts of violence perpetrated against Muslim immigrants. So, I mean, isn't there some responsibility that the government should bear to protect Muslim minorities in immigrant groups in Greece?
Well, there is no doubt this is some incidents that we feel ashamed. Okay, the Greek government must feel ashamed from these things. But as I said, this is not something that we can really do something. I think that the only thing that we can do is to get close to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is our safety. We cannot involve ourselves in political situations, because this is exactly what lead us in this situation that we have. The associations and the so-called presidents, they don't give anything. They rent houses and hotels just to make political discussion and political lectures. Not only one lecture to know who is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is the aqidah? No, this is only the political issue in the front. No, so this is what I'm saying is not going to work. Yeah. So in other countries, Brother Malik, in Europe, they have an organization. I mean, they have a system organized. They have their hospitals, they have the schools, they have their mosque. We don't have anything here. This is something so totally alien for us to hear that the Germans, they have a society, they have a Muslim community, healthy Muslim community. The Britons and the other European Muslims. We don't have these things.
Brother Ahmed, that's a wonderful point, and I want to keep you on Skype with me, and I want to make this bridge to Brother Samir. Brother Samir, if you're still with me, thank you for holding. Brother Ahmed Fauzi and I, Brother Ahmed Adin on Skype made some wonderful points. I mean, isn't this a moral failure on the part of the European government of Greece not to even provide safety for the Muslim citizens there and provide a simple place of worship, a legal place of worship for them to worship, and a graveyard to bury their dead? This violence against Muslims, isn't this a moral failure? That's my first question. My second question, Brother Samir, isn't it also very, very, very disappointing to see that the parliament in Athens, Greece, the parliament of a sovereign European nation elected a neo-Nazi group to its parliament and won a significant amount of votes in national elections? I mean, isn't that shocking and disappointing, brother? Go ahead, Brother Samir. Go ahead, Brother Samir. Can you hear me, Brother Samir?
Hello?
Brother Samir, I'm sorry, brother, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Thank you for waiting on the hold for me, brother. Two questions. Number one, isn't it a moral failure on the part of the government of Greece not to provide Greek Muslims with basic safety, security, a place to bury their dead, and a legal place to worship? My first question. My second question, Brother Samir, isn't it another moral failure on the part of a sovereign European nation, in this case Greece, to elect a neo-Nazi group into its parliament? I mean, isn't this a moral failure and a great disappointment truly for all of Europe and the world? Go ahead, brother.
Okay, I'm not hearing it very well, but I will try to explain some, solutions that I see for the problem.
Go ahead.
There is a very nice, institution that's called Don't Hate, Educate. That the first step is that to tackle the problem with, the discrimination against Muslims is to make the people aware about the beauty and the things about Islam and about, how nice Islam is, and to explain also to the government that it is beneficial for the government itself and for the security and the safety of the people to have Islam around. On one hand, the good etiquette and akhlaq, the values of Islam that are good for the youth, that makes them, go away of drugs and stealing and all this bad stuff that is, hurting the whole country. And the value of this, Islamic etiquette and Islamic values. This is on one hand. And at the same time, making them aware about this extremism that is, some Muslims are getting also extreme. People are asking me why there are, violence, some Muslims are violent and are, extreme. I say, look at the policies of those governments that are, oppressing them and putting them under pressure. And to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. If you are oppressing the Muslims and giving them hard time, not giving them a place to worship, not giving them the right, you shouldn't be, you shouldn't be surprised if some Muslims get to be extreme and being violent. I'm not excusing them or I'm not accepting them, but I am analyzing the situation that you have to be fair, not give the chance for the media to work against and make, make such a double standard against Muslims and, attacking them and mocking them and so on, so that you have, this fairness, this proper conduct with those minorities. If you are doing this good conduct, then you are safe of those extremists and violence and so on. This is the solution, to fair to them and to give them the right. And at the same time, the Muslim has a very important role to show the etiquette of Islam, the akhlaq, the proper conduct of Islam, so that the people know and see how important those Islamic values are for our civilization in Europe.
Barakallahu feek, Brother Samir Khalafawi. I certainly appreciate your time, brother. I look forward to having you on the program, inshallah ta'ala, in the near future. Before we take a short break, I just really wanted briefly to go back to Brother Ahmed Al-Adin to make sure you're still with us, Brother Ahmed, for the second segment, inshallah ta'ala. And I do have some important questions for you, Brother Ahmed, regarding no graveyards in Greece, no mosques, no safety. Isn't this a failure of the Greek government, number one? Number two, neo-Nazism in Greece, isn't this a contradiction? Brother Ahmed Fawzi, I'm sure you think so. I know I do. So we'll find out in the next segment, inshallah ta'ala. We will have Brother Ahmed Adin with us, as well as Brother Pierre Vogel, inshallah ta'ala. You guys stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to the Ummah Tonight. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the Ummah Tonight. Brother Ahmed Fawzi and I are discussing the rise of neo-Nazism in Greece, and we do have a special guest via Skype. But before we go back to Brother Ahmed via Skype, live from Athens, Greece, Brother Ahmed, it's a contradiction, isn't neo-Nazism in Greece? I mean, the Greeks fought the Nazis in World War II. I mean, isn't it a bit strange to hear now Greek youth are becoming neo-Nazis?
It is, but actually, as I saw now, Brother Ahmed on the Skype, just he clarified some issues, as well as Brother Samir Khalafawi. And when we go back to the Nazi, we will see that this group was against Jews. Nowadays, Jews succeeded, or they want to succeed, actually, to make a division between this group and a group, another group, which is the Muslims, in order to take advantage of the political situation. I like the way that Brother Ahmed from Greece was talking about this, and he's saying that it's sort of political game. Okay, so it's like a political game, but as our brothers were contributing to this, that we have to take advantage of that. We have to use this situation for what is beneficial for the Muslim Ummah. I'd like to ask Brother Ahmed about this and know more. Actually, we got more information about Greece with Dr. Steve before in the Ummah Tonight, but yes, I'd like to know more about this from one of the citizens there. What is going on? Are Muslims there united or not?
Okay, inshallah ta'ala. Brother, we'll go first to Brother Ahmed Adin, and then after that we'll go to Brother Abu Hamza, Salahuddin Pierre Vogel, who's on the phone with us now. Brother Ahmed, can you hear me, brother?
Yes.
Okay, brother. My co-host, Brother Ahmed Fauzi, had an interesting question. Go ahead, brother. Ask the question directly.
So, brother, what is the situation now in Greece? Are you as a Muslim community now, are you united, or there's nothing between you? If there is any like organizations you can get to, you can take decisions together. I know that in America nowadays there is many organizations, they would like to unite the Muslim vote. You said this is a political situation now. What is your responsibilities and what's your response to this, beside of course sticking to the Sunnah and the Quran?
Well, we want to unite with all the associations and the organizations, but this kind of unity, it has to be upon truthfulness.
Awesome.
Not truthfulness, not unity with people that they want to play political games, not with people that they avoid the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not with people that they avoid to talk about Tawheed because they believe that Tawheed will split the people. No, we don't want unity with them, and I don't want unity with them. But the person that he is sticking to the Quran and to the Sunnah, and the politics is a secondary issue for him, then I don't have a problem to unite. But the person that he avoids the Sunnah, and he unites with the Shia, and he unites with the people of desires and innovation, no, I'm not going to unite. This is impossible, because we're going to create much more harm than good.
Yes, I see. I definitely see your point, Brother Ahmed. I want you to give us, the viewers, I mean, let's give the Greek viewers the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps they haven't had any authentic information about Islam in the Greek language. So before you answer that question, brother, I want you to collect some information, some websites for our viewers. While you do that, I'm going to go to Brother Abu Hamza Pierre Vogel on the line with us live. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thank you for joining us on our program.
Assalamu alaikum.
Brother, alaikum salam. It's an honor to have you on our program. I apologize for keeping you waiting so long. As you know, brother, this program is focusing on neo-Nazism, in this case in Greece, and how neo-Nazi groups are now supposedly threatening Muslims in Greece, threatening to slaughter them if they don't leave Europe. Brother, what is your response, and how should the Muslims of Greece respond?
You know, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, actually, brothers and sisters, what I want to say is, you know, what I see very often, we have to know there is a lot of agitation, not only in Greece and not only in Germany, but all over Europe against Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And this agitation is sometimes from the media and sometimes from private, for example, websites or something like this, or private organizations. And normally, when we look into the history, first in the history of the world, we have to see that agitation is always used for a reason. So what is the reason? You know, I mean, we have to be realistic, and normally agitation, when you read the book, for example, from Daniel Jonah Goldhagen, I lost now the author. It's Genocide, Worse Than War, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When you read this book, for example, he's talking about genocide all over the world and how it happened. So we have to be aware, but at the same time, we should not be scared, okay? We have to be aware, but we should not be scared. The second thing is that agitation is also used for making wars. Okay, this is what we have to know now. Now we have to look who is our example. Our example is the Prophet ﷺ, and Allah says about him in chapter 33, Surah Al-Ahzab, that لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. In the Messenger of Allah, you had always the best example. And the Messenger of Allah, he had also, there was a lot of agitation against him. When he was going to the market, you know, the people were talking against him. But what did he do? His answer was his dawah. That he continued to give his dawah. He did not say, oh no, I'm afraid now, maybe the media is talking bad about me, so I leave it. This is what a lot of people in Europe now do. You know, they are afraid that somebody will talk about them bad afterwards and will destroy the image of Islam. I mean, the image of Islam is already damaged in Europe. In a lot of, let me say, the most people, it's not like you go to Europe and there's somebody who never hears something about Islam. Maybe he never hears something right about Islam. Okay, but most people have their position already. And this is what we have to realize. The real message will be attacked. And when will it be attacked? When? When the real message is coming back. This is what we have to know. They are attacking Islam because Islam is coming back, and they know if the dawah continues like it is right now, Islam will have a lot of power in the future in Europe. And this is what they want to stop right now. So what should we do? The Prophet ﷺ, when Abu Lahab was talking bad against him, when he was going to the market, he did not stop him going to the market to give dawah. He did continue to make dawah. And we have to know, maybe they will, in the future, they will close some doors for us. Maybe they will close some doors. But believe me, if we have ikhlas, Allah will open other doors for us. You know, the Prophet ﷺ, in the 10th year after he became the messenger, after Abu Talib and Khadija died, what happened? The da'wah was absolutely closed. Then the Prophet ﷺ went to Taif. What was the answer of the people of Taif? Stones were the answer. They stoned him. So afterwards, in this situation, in this year, the 10th year, almost nobody accepted Islam. Then suddenly 6 people came from Medina. Then the next year, 12 people from Medina. Then the next year, 73 men, 75 women. And then they opened the door for the first Islamic State. Yeah, actually, if somebody told you in the 10th years after Hijrah, after all this agitation, after the Prophet was not able to give dawah in Mecca, if somebody told you in 3 years you will have the next state, maybe in this time, if you ask somebody, when do you think will the Muslim have the Islamic State? Maybe somebody would tell you maybe after 100 years. You know, but 3 years later, Allah opened another door. So, if the doors for dawah are closed, Allah will open another door. We have to be firm in our message. We have to continue. We have not to stop. We have to, and you know, this is also an attitude now in Europe. You know, and this is actually the attribute of the, you know, what Bani Israel used with Moses. You know, that, you know, everybody is looking for the mistake, is looking for the mistake of the others. Oh, look, what you bring us so many problems. He is the problem, and this is the problem. Continue with yourself. Be you. You have to be the change that you want for the world. Don't wait for anybody else. Continue and look and think. What can I do to progress? What can I do to give the message to the world? And believe me, Allah will continue His light. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على دين كله ولو كره المشركون. He is the one who brings messenger with the Huda, with the guidance and the true religion, to let it prevail over all other religions, even if the mushriks, the idolaters, hate it.
Brother Abu Hamza, I certainly appreciate, I believe that is the key to the success of your personal dawah efforts in Europe as well.
Excuse me, I don't understand you now very good. Your voice is very, very low. Hello?
Oh, I apologize. Brother Abu Hamza, I just wanted to thank you for being on the program with us. But before you go anywhere, brother, I just want to thank you for giving that direct message to the Muslims of Europe. I certainly appreciate it. And this attitude that you have, this advice you're giving us, I think is a big reason why your dawah has been so successful in Europe as well. Before we let you go, brother, Ahmed Fawzi, my co-host, would like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
So, dear Sheikh Pierre Vogel, actually, we're happy that we have you. I wanted to cut you many times, but actually I couldn't. Because, mashallah, you're giving like a nice approach to our viewers. Before you just talked, Brother Samir was telling us like, don't hate, educate. And I see that you're saying, don't hate and don't afraid and educate people and just approach for da'wah and don't care about what is going on. This letter we see now from the Nazis in Greece, just threatening those people, just if you didn't leave this country, I would like you to just give like a brief and specific message to Muslims in Greece. What should they respond to such a letter like that? If you don't leave this country, we're going to slaughter you as chickens.
Okay. So you want a clear message for the Muslims in Greece, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Of course, it's not always too easy to know exactly the situation that we see now in Greece, but we have first to realize something. This way, the way to Allah is a hard way. You know, the way to progress in da'wah is a hard way. It's not easy. Every messenger, the way to the victory is always a hard way. So this is what I want to tell the Muslims in Greece first. Don't be afraid right now. Don't say, oh, what is happening right now? This is what happened to all the people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Al-Ankabut, for example, Alif Lam Mim, حسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فلا يعلمن الله الذين صدقوا ولا يعلمن الكاذبين. This is exactly at the 29th chapter, Surah Al-Ankabut, at the beginning. Allah says, Alif Lam Mim. Yes? Then, do people think that they will be left alone just because they say, we believe and will not be tested? Then Allah says in the third verse, and we indeed tested those who were before them, and Allah will certainly make it known, it means the truth, those who are true, and will certainly make it known the falsehood of those who are liars. So this is the way. And the next thing is, Muslims, we have to stay together. We have to come together, and we have also to try to fight against the misconception that these people use against Muslims in Greece and everywhere. You know, there are some people, you can tell them whatever you want. You know, for example, my brothers and sisters, there's a website in Germany. You know, every day they come with new lies, you know. Yes, you know, since 10 years, the Muslims killed in Germany 8,000 people. These are all lies, you know. This is absolutely nonsense. And these people, you can talk to them, you can bring them and dalil, you can bring them a proof. They, you know, the problem of them is that they hate the message. These people are there, but there are also other people who don't know. So we have to look, how can we reach these people? How can we talk to these people? And the first step is make dua. that Allah gives you an idea. For example, in Germany, they opened some websites. The people try to make some dawah tables on the street to talk to the people. Yes. For example, they're talking now about 900 people who are talking on the streets with non-Muslims. This is not my thought. This is what the Secret Service or whatever, what these people say. 900 people from the Muslims, they call them Muslim missionaries, are talking. They have some booklets, they have some like a translation of the Quran, and now they're talking with the people on the streets. Yes, the people who hate Islam, they will even hate this more, but we want the people who have some honor or some truthfulness in their heart.
Of course.
We are not talking about the people about who Allah says, because that they are liars and their heart is sealed. And this is also what I want to tell you. Some people think if you give dawah and the reaction of the non-Muslim is bad, this is a sign of your bad dawah. This is not like this.
Yeah.
Because we know that Nuh alayhi salam, and this is in the 71st chapter of the Quran, that his people, almost everybody did not accept him. And the reason number one why people enter hellfire is what? Is because they hate the message. I give you the proof.
Of course.
I give you the proof. Allah says in Surah Al-Zukhruf, it's the 33rd chapter, in verse 77 and verse 78, he says, وَنَادَوْا يَا مَالِكُ لِيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ قَالَ إِنَّكُمْ مَاكِثُونَ. And they will cry, O Malik, the people of the hell, let our Lord make an end of us. This is in the hereafter. He will say, verily, you shall abide forever. Then, now there comes explanation why. لَقَدْ جِئْنَاكُمْ بِالْحَقِّ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَكُمْ لِلْحَقِّ كَارِهُونَ. Indeed, 78, this is verse 78. Indeed, we have brought the truth to you. That means Muhammad came with the Quran, but most of you have hatred for the truth.
Brother Abu Hamza,
this is the reason.
Brother Abu Hamza, I certainly appreciate your time, and thank you for bringing that wonderful Quranic verse, of course, featuring the name Malik in that verse. Certainly, Brother Hamza, I certainly appreciate your direct message of empowering the Muslims of Europe. I certainly appreciate your time, Brother Abu Hamza, and you're always welcome to be a guest on our program, inshallah ta'ala. Thank you so much for your time. Brother Ahmed Fawzi, it's always a pleasure to have Brother Abu Hamza on the telephone.
Sure.
However, inshallah ta'ala, I would like to go back to Brother Ahmed Al-Adin from Greece. I had a lot of questions for him, but unfortunately the Skype line did cut. In the meantime, perhaps we can bring him back, because I really wanted to ask him to share with the Greek viewers who perhaps haven't heard the correct message of Islam, Brother Ahmed,
Sure.
authentic information in the Greek language. Are there any websites that he can share with us where an open-minded Greek person can learn about Islam in their own language, number one? Number two, really I want to ask him about the situation of Muslims in Athens, Greece these days. They have no official place to pray, although I heard there's over 200 unofficial, illegally built mosques
they
in
are
Greece.
in one area, as Dr. Steve previously said.
Yeah, the
about
legal
this.
masjid are in one area, yeah. In
Yep.
Athens, where the majority of the people are, there's no masjid,
Without
okay? There's no
masajid,
mosque.
yes.
No mosques, as we said, no graveyards to bury their dead, so they have to travel many, many, many hours in order to bury their dead, which is really a humiliation. And at the end of the day, after we said all that, if that wasn't bad enough, now there's no safety.
Exactly.
We have
threatenings.
Yes, and even action. They had killed some Egyptian immigrants there recently. I mean, if you look in the news, you'll see every so often there's physical acts of violence where Egyptian immigrants were there working and they were beaten nearly to death. I believe some died. They were beaten to death with sticks and tied to a truck and dragged through the street. I mean, this certainly isn't the Europe and the Greece that people would like to know when people go to visit the Greek islands and think the Greek people are so lovely, and I'm sure many of them are, but this isn't the Greece that I grew up knowing, and this is a really ugly, outright, is this what is this the fruit of democracy? I hope we can. Yeah, I certainly hope we can bring Brother Ahmed Al-Adin back on Skype.
It's like a message to Muslims there, and I do remember just a quote from one of the scholars before. لولا العقبات تشككت في الطريق. unless we see obstacles, I would doubt about the way. So whenever you just face such obstacles like that, threatening letters like those Nazis do against you and so on, you have to make sure now that you're going on the right track. You're Muslims, you're going on the right track, and you will face more and more and more. Unless you leave the way, you're going to be safe all the time.
Yeah, of course,
but we, unfortunately, we just know that this way is full of obstacles, is full of just troubles.
Yeah, of course.
And the end of it is going to be, inshallah, paradise is going to be a good way. And inshallah, in dunya too, it's an opportunity and a chance to such Muslims to just like, I like this quote actually from Brother Samir: don't hate.
Educate.
Whoever is going just to like do whatever against you, don't hate. Just go ahead and educate. It's a chance for us. It's a chance for everyone to let them know about the clear message and about the true Islam.
Yeah, of course, certainly. You know, my question for Golden Dawn, this neo-Nazi party in Greece, I've always wanted to ask them directly. You now claim that, you know, you have a swastika and you make the Heil Hitler. Your grandfather is rolling in his grave because he either was killed by the Nazis defending Greece, or he lived through it, but he lived fighting them. So if he could see his grandson now with the swastika saying Heil Hitler, he would turn around in his grave, number one. Number two, the leader of Golden Dawn, his name is Michael something, I can't remember, Mikhali or something like that. He said he wanted to fight Turkey. Okay, we see what happens when Greece, it's like a lightweight boxer punching out of his weight class. It's like a lightweight boxer punching to the heavyweight boxer. They even asked him, what do you mean by that? Are you going to march to Constantinople or Istanbul? He said, no, and then he got scared. He said, no, I didn't say we want to fight the Turks with weapons. I meant we can just, you know, give speeches and talk against them. So I think this is something, you know, it's irresponsible for any government, especially these Western governments who preach democracy, to claim to provide security for every single citizen. But when it comes to Muslims, they let the media and politicians whip up this frenzy, and then ignorant people go and commit acts of violence against them. We see it in America. We see it now in Greece. I believe it's an awful double standard that has to change. It's very sad.
Just, you know, like if we go back with Greece, with the Nazis' background and history, you will find that Nazis all the time they went against the world. Even they just did the World War II, as we know, which end up by destroying their country the first.
Yes,
and of course they were accused to be the reason for doing a war all around the world. We saw like destructions and troubles here in Egypt, in Libya, in all like the Mediterranean area, even in Russia. They just did the World War II, and at the beginning and the first result for this war was destroying their country. Are you going to speak with the same way again?
Yes,
didn't you learn from your history?
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead and just learn from your history, and know that ideas are going to ideas just fought by ideas,
of course,
not by war and just killing people like chickens or whatever. I don't think that one Muslim is going to be afraid of something like that, but I'm afraid that you're going to make troubles with such just litter like that. I don't know.
I couldn't agree with you more, Brother Ahmed. I certainly appreciate your time. My question for the Greek government is this a democracy or a theocracy? You guys have to figure this out. Is this modern Greece or the Byzantine Empire, number one? Number two, is this what the fruits of freedom and democracy are bringing the people? What about diversity? If you really want to learn about the beautiful diversity of Greece and harmony between ethnic and religious groups, I suggest you buy Europe's Forgotten Heritage, a historical guide through Ottoman Greece, written and authored by Dr. Steph Caris. Until next time, I leave you guys in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.